Hello folks, how are you getting on? It's Sean Ferrick here for Trek Culture, and I am bringing you all of the ups and downs for Star Trek Discovery Season 4, Episode 3, Choose to Live. Before we start, I just want to give a massive thank you to the official sponsor of all of Discovery's ups and downs this season, Surfshark. I cannot express how important it is to have a strong and secure VPN for protecting you from all of the people who are coming and grabbing and taking information that you don't want them to have. And of course, it's so important in case you need to be able to, watch something that might not be available in your country for any reason. Not that I can think of any examples at all. The reason that you don't hear us talking about other types of VPNs is that we've actually been working with Surfshark for years. Like, we have a really, really good relationship with them. They are honestly so good. So good, in fact, that they have given us, for you, if you use code WhatCulture when you're signing up, you get 83% off your purchase. Yes, that's 83% off. I mean, that's basically free. Folks, Surfshark is honestly so good out there. We really, really recommend. And again, thank you so much to them for sponsoring this entire season of Discovery Ups and Downs. Now, you know how this is going to work, folks. We're going to go through everything we liked, we're going to give it an up, and everything that we didn't like, and we're going to give it a down. Before we go on, let me just say, please like, share, and subscribe. Every time that you do that, you know that you are helping this channel massively, and you know what? You're each getting a big old hug from me. That is a threat. Okay, let's get straight into it this week, and I'm going to make a very controversial statement to begin. This episode was slow. I struggled a little bit with this one. I have ups, I have downs, but this one, we lose that kind of insistence, that pace of the first two episodes of the season. So let's just get that out of the way straight away. This is where we kind of go a little bit in this one, a little bit. However, having said that, our first up of the week is going to go once again to David Ajala. Now, I really think that he is bringing his A game this season. I really, really liked Book in season 3. I did. But in season 4, obviously, he's being given this massive, massive emotional journey that he has to deal with. And in a way, we get a little bit of a resolution to that this week. At the beginning, we see him, he's kind of working with Stamets. They're working together to try and figure out what the anomaly is, what caused it, could they have done anything to prevent it? And that's a theme that carries out for him throughout the episode. It's this blame that he's taking on board himself. Could he have done something to prevent the death of his family? He's still seeing this vision of Leto, who he's trying to figure out kind of like, what is it? Why is it this moment, other than the obvious, that's sticking in his mind? It is in fact President T'Rina of Ni'Var who helps him come to terms with his guilt this week. She, in the process of trying to help Stamets discover a cause or a designation, if you like, for this anomaly, in fact, helps Book to see that his guilt is misplaced. It is very much survivor's guilt. Ajala plays it perfectly. It's not overdone. There is a risk that when you get an emotional journey like this, it can be overdone, but no, they managed to do it without slipping into melodrama, which is why this week, once again, for me, Book was an up. Now, the actual episode itself starts with a delivery of dilithium, and it's aboard the USS Credence, which is a new class of starship, which seems to be modeled a little bit. It's evocative of Discovery without being a copy and paste. It's an up for me, because I always love seeing new starships anyway, but particularly this one. Also, Fortunate Son is one of my favorite songs. Credence is getting an up anyway. This leads into a scene and in fact a plot for the episode that I really struggle with. The Qowat Milat, led by a seemingly rogue member, J'Vinny, steal this dilithium, resulting in the death of a Starfleet officer, and it becomes the main crux of the episode, is the search to bring this Qowat Milat J'Vinny to justice. Now, I have to down this. Okay, I have to down J'Vinny, but also a lot of this plot, because this relies heavily on J'Vinny doing absolutely no research and a lot of half half-truths and, you know, a little bit of we'll tell you later ons from Gabriel Burnham, who returns this week, and the Coatmalot, who they live by the code absolute candor. But this week it's absolute candor with an asterisk. Absolute candor, yeah, but we'll tell you the rest later. And there's a lot of that this week. The mission to bring down Giovanni, it becomes a joint Federation Ni'Var, you know, mission together. We have Gabriel Burnham, we've Michael Burnham, Tilly, and another Coatmalot who unfortunately serves as a red shirt, which I have an issue with anyway. You know, they're sitting there in the Federation office, President Rillick, Admiral Vance, they're all there. Da, 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 da. Yes, we will bring this person to justice. We must. They are Coatmalot. Yeah. Later on, oh, by the way, I actually knew Giovanni. Oh, by the way, you can't bring your phasers. Oh, by the way, oh, by the way, oh, by the way. And that really bugged me. If you're going to live by absolute candor, then you bloody tell the truth from the off. It's one of the defining, annoying, but it works, traits of the Coatmalot. On top of that, Giovanni is, you know, she is binding herself to a lost cause, as we discover as the episode goes along, but Michael Burnham is able to fix her problem within seconds. How many people had to die for Giovanni's stupidity? Now that was because it's one of those things like, give the script to somebody for a read-through. That's my issue with Giovanni's plotline. It's not that it's played badly, everyone's delivering fine performances. It's just, sorry, question, what if you just did this? Boom, problem solved. So, Giovanni's entire plot this week, unfortunately for me, that is a down. But, an up this week is the politics on show. Season 4 so far, thanks to President Rillick, has shown a lot of the machinations of the politics of the Federation. Something that, you know, it's not that this is new to Star Trek, but they're really leading with that. Vance, for example, who was such a powerful character in Season 3, has become much more of a sit back and President's in charge character in Season 4. But I don't think it's hurting his character. I think it's just a, listen, Michael, you saw what we needed you to see in Season 3. Here's the bigger picture. And I'm really enjoying that because Rillick is playing everybody. In fact, Vance's description of Rillick as a conductor at the end of the episode, and that each player is just another part of the symphony, I thought was an absolutely fantastic way of breaking down how politics work in particularly this episode, but in Star Trek overall. Rillick is already becoming one of my favorite new characters in Star Trek. She is played brilliantly, and I don't get a sense of villainy off her. I get a sense of, I am in charge. Please don't question if I'm in charge. Now, I will talk to you, and I will help you through things, but at the end of the day, you work for me. But again, not in a kind of way. Language failed me there for a moment. She is nailing the intricacies of this game of chess that is building the Federation, bringing Ni'Var back into the fold, letting Ni'Var take Giovanni into custody at the end of the episode. And you can see Michael and Vance are just like, not cool with this, not cool with this. As the President says, yes, one life has been lost, that's bad. And several other, you know, assistants who just basically are forgotten by the end of the episode are bad. But Ni'Var rejoining the Federation, that's good. We need that. Really, really enjoying how this storyline is playing out this season. On the topic then of Ni'Var, down. The Ni'Var scientists in the Science Academy who are, you know, supposed to be there in a sort of a, how would you say, just like almost like a coven of we're going to work on this problem. They don't work on the problem. All they do is sit there and tell Stamets he's wrong. Well, that was a big build up to nothing then, wasn't it? So the actual scientists themselves are a down from me. And I'm actually going to give a down as well to Stamets this week. Now, Anthony Rapp has been excellent this season so far. He's getting a little bit more to do than just be annoyed at life itself. But this week, he addresses Book directly by saying, listen, I have to talk to these people and have to be clinical and cold in the description of what happened to Kwai Jean to, you know, try and prove my theory that he believes that the anomaly is a dark matter anomaly, or effectively the birth of a wormhole. So he's calling it a DMA. Love it, that's cool, we have a name for it now. And his thrust is like, let's prove that it's a wormhole. So they're looking for tachyons, whatever. So it's all about the science of it. But then when he gets to the Science Academy, and in fairness, it would be annoying for a bunch of scientists to say, nah, but doesn't work. But he sort of, I'm sorry, I didn't realize it was nap time. So that was down from me. That was silly script writing. Just for me now, I have to say, so bold. There's a B plot and a C plot that sort of interacts with the A plot this week. So to go with the C plot first, Tilly. Tilly is very lost, and she needs something to bring her out of her comfort zone, which both Culber and Saru are attempting to help her do. And actually, Tilly and Saru this week, that's an up from me. I really liked their interaction. Overall, I think maybe Tilly is a little bit overdone in, kind of the outbursts and this and that this week. But I have to say, their interaction, just the two of them, is just brilliant together. Mary Wiseman and Doug Jones together just make this surprisingly effective double team. And I mean, the whole episode is lovely, but particularly that scene is Saru's quarters at the end, where she pretends to touch the Kaminar swamp weed, and it's all very funny. I really like that, and I love these little moments. So that, for me, was an up this week. Tilly's involvement in the mission overall, totally understand why, she's assigned in terms of personally, yes, give her something to do. Michael does need a tactical officer, and Tilly doesn't have tactical training. Now, it's not enough for me to down it, but operationally, I'm not sure that was the best decision. It's like there's a time and a place for helping your friend work through their issues, but, bring down a murderous Qowat Milat is not one of those times. Now, of course, the B plot for this week is the instigation of Grey's consciousness into a Golem body, and I am giving this an up because it's wonderful to see Ian Alexander seems to be joining the cast. Well, I suppose he was always part of the cast, but he can now interact a little bit more freely than through Adira. And I've really, really sort of enjoyed their journey. It does bring down the pace of the episode overall. That is an issue for me, to the point where down the pace of this week's episode. Sorry. Not forgetting that, but in the up of discussing Grey's Golem body, it's great to see Grey now is there on the ship, can interact with Culber. That hug between Culber and Grey is just heartwarming. And, just Adira's reaction. Adira knocks it out of the park. Blue Del Barrio is fantastic this week. It's, it is clearly the heart and the emotional storyline of the week, and they really, really deliver. Let's see where this storyline goes. Is Grey going to enter Starfleet? Is Grey going to completely step away and go back to Trill to become a Guardian, as is very much alluded to? But does that mean we're going to lose Ian Alexander? We don't really know yet. It'll be interesting to see where that goes. Overall, the episode, good. Slow, which is a bit of a disappointment after two very strong episodes to begin with. Let's hope that, we get there next week, kind of bring it back up again. It would have been a bit simple to go, oh, the anomaly's a wormhole in episode 3. Great, your season-long mystery has been identified. So I understand why they didn't do that, but please don't keep giving us fake outs. Please don't keep giving us fake outs. Now, take a step with me as we head to Cetacean Observations. Now, this week we have a few. We have a lovely Jolan True is dropped, which is of course a Romulan greeting. In the bar, did you also notice a Ferengi bartender in the bar? I did, wearing Ops yellow. Quite enjoyed that. That was a nice little Easter egg there. We also have a dartboard in the bar, which straight away was the first thing you think of. Miles O'Brien and Julian Bashir. Alien race that Giovanni is looking after have like Latinum in their blood. Latinum, of course, if Latinum still exists 1,000 years from now, that's pretty impressive, I have to say. That's pretty cool. The Mind Meld makes its return to Star Trek this week. So this is clearly the furthest into the future that we've seen a Mind Meld. The very first time we ever saw one was in the original season's first season episode, Dagger of the Mind, and most recently we saw it in Arcadia Ego Part 1. The Ni'Var Science Academy makes an appearance, and of course the Science Academy is dating back to nearly the earliest days of Star Trek. Spock fell out with Sarek over his refusal to attend the Vulcan Science Academy in favour of going to Starfleet Academy instead. I took this one as an Easter egg when they're standing on the moon and someone goes, "This is no moon, this is a ship." Are we allowed to reference the Death Star in this? The Vulcan nerve pinch makes a return when one of the Qowat Milat uses it on one of the Starfleet officers in the beginning. And the credence is NCC 2804. Now you might think that's a very low registry for the 32nd century, considering the USS Stargazer was NCC 2894, and that was in the 24th century. So that is a reminder to us that they have had to reset the numbers, because if you think about it, any registry, if they just kept going sequentially, is probably going to be longer than a phone number at this point. So that was a nice little kind of nod to, yeah, we do pay attention to this stuff. That is it for my list this week. If you reckon I missed anything, please drop it into the comments below. Please, as I said, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Remember, you can catch us over on Twitter at Trek Culture. You can catch myself at Sean Ferrick on all the socials as well. Until I see you again, you look after yourself, you look after your nearest and dearest, you live long and prosper. Thanks a million.